Hi friends, how are you? Thank you so much for stepping up today and helping out our friend Harold, who could use some encouragement. I got teary-eyed reading a lot of your responses, and so I appreciate that so much, and I appreciate all of you so much who continue to show up and share and contribute, because it also helps me so much as to where I'm trying to harness this energy and move forward, especially during this eclipse energy. So thank you so much. And new subscribers, please double check daily, weekly, however often that your subscriptions are still on and your notifications are still on, because even my other account, I'm not getting notifications for like 2 weeks. Even though it says I'm subscribed, I unsubscribed and I resubscribed, and then I redid my notifications, so I haven't checked to see if that works out yet. But anyways, thank you so much. So for those of you that are new, this is a thing that I call the Terrascope. I just take the lunation and then I lay out the cards accordingly. Just as with, most tarot readers use the Celtic cross, and there are certain positions that cards go in that determine what that card's function is. Well, that's the same with the horoscope, except the spread, there's 12 places and it's always consistent. Like in the tarot, you have what's crowning the reading. Well, in a horoscope, we have the 10th house, the highest achievements. That is similar to crowning a reading. When we have a signifier, that first card that we draw that tells us about the issue at hand, the signifier, well, we have the first house of identity. When we have the card of the reading that gives you the description for the whole reading, we have the ascendant, the sign that was coming over the eastern horizon. So if astrology confuses you, don't look at this. Just listen to my words and what the themes are. I'm trying to take the word house out of my language because I know it can get confusing. Just listen to the theme and the matching card. Someday down the road, you'll start absorbing it and you'll be like, oh, now I know what this means. For those of you that are new, there are 4 major points. We have the ascendant, which is the eastern horizon. So for example, on the day that you were born, this is a sign that was coming over the eastern horizon. That's your rising sign. This gave you life. You took your first breath, and this is what was imprinted. We have the top of the chart, which is the 10th. What's crowning? Achievement. We have the west. The sun sets in the west. This has to do with partnerships. And then at the very bottom, below our feet, wherever we are, that is home. It's our relationship with our parents. It's how we're nurtured and cared for. The other important thing to know is this is the east-west horizon. When you're standing here, east-west horizon, and you look around, you can see everything that's going on. But beneath the east-west horizon, we can't see anything because, well, there's ground we can't see. And it's not meant for us to see. So this lunation, this eclipse, has only one planet above the horizon that we can all see. That's the planet of Uranus, which is shock and awe. Basically, sudden information. And it's in the area that has to do with life and death, and it has to do with taxes, other people's money. So this eclipse, with this new order that we're coming into, this is something we're all going to see. And the other thing, we have the north node of the moon, which is we collectively, our messenger of happiness. All of us are getting pulled the same direction in what's crowning us. So if you don't like astrology, just listen to my words, look at the pictures. Now, as I said in the prior video, I can't remember if it was number 1, maybe it was number 2, that I said I do all these terrascopes, and typically I focus on Donald and the villain, so we could get a feel for what's going on. But we know what they're doing. They do this all the time. It's so old. I wanted to start talking about issues that are important for our democracy. I wanted to ask those issues to lay out the cards so that we can start talking about the issues and not fighting against Donald, because in our resistance, we give him more power, and I don't want to do that anymore. We need to give a voice and get our energy focused on the things that we want. Now, I did 2 spreads here. I will tell you, was very reluctant to share these with you because it's a bit heartbreaking. So what I did is I laid them out. I seriously did not want to share this. So for those of you that are sensitive, you might need to come back when you're feeling a little bit stronger. But I was trying to think of a way that how these things can be remedied, and then I linked to the divine feminine and where she's intervening or has her eyes set right now on making change. I also am going to use another deck to throw a card on how this area is eclipsed, okay? So, hard to watch, but we're getting a baseline, we're figuring out where we're going, and we're going to figure out what's eclipsed and what divine feminine is already working on. Now there's 2 sets of cards here. This one on the top has the 10 of Pentacles, the Trump dynasty on the ascendant, and this has to do with civil rights. A bit heartbreaking. So civil rights in the United States of America is all up to the Trump dynasty, essentially. They're setting the tone. And how America identifies civil rights, who she is, it's totally determined by the Trump campaign. The Trump crime syndicate is the one who is authorizing this speak of civil rights, human rights. Now, when I ask the tarot, that's where we are now. Okay, I know this is really hard to hear. I'm connecting this to divine feminine and what's being eclipsed. So let me get through these 12 areas and just breathe, breathe, breathe. Just breathe, keep breathing while I do this so you don't freeze up when these things come up and again, okay? So we're practicing deep breathing. Breathe from that diaphragm, big breaths in and deep breaths out. I just want you to focus on your breathing this whole time, okay? So when it has to do with income and gains, how civil rights benefits us, our self-worth, self-values, there's the 8 of Cups. Totally walked away from it, setting something else up to exploit it. This is where we are. Keep breathing. And sit and stay still. Okay, the more you can protect your breathing, control your breathing and your emotions. If you really feel like you're going to come out of your head, take the tips of your fingers right here, rub them, and just put them on top of your forehead. You know, like kind of like above your eyeballs where your forehead kind of sticks out a little bit. I just want you to keep breathing deeply, keep your hands on your forehead, and that'll bring the blood back into your brain so you're not in total fight-flight, okay? Keep breathing. So when it has to do with communications in neighborhoods, publications, agreements, merchants, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So civil rights talk, human rights talk is definitely up for bid for mercenaries to exploit it. So they're the ones who's in control. Keep breathing. Deep breath, hands on your forehead. In terms of USA and her home, her defenses, her security, civil rights is done. It is totally done and disregarded. Keep breathing. We have a rich history that they're trying to erase. This area connects us with our ancestors, and they want it gone to rewrite history because that's what they do in Russia. In the 5th house of the sun, which we're refers to the president. Deep breath. Civil rights, human rights really is up to the guys of Russia, and it's how they dictate elections, how the elections are rigged. I'm going to tap right here. You need to watch the video on ambassador rigged elections. Explains how it's done. When it comes to public servants, keep breathing, deep breaths. Public servants, that has to do public servants, investigations, day-to-day activities, our military. We have the Four of Swords. It's been totally, what is that word? When you violate your oath, you totally abdicate. Total abdication. This is not a priority. It's asleep. When it comes to we the people and how we view human rights and civil rights, it's incredibly disappointing. It is. Keep breathing. Keep your hands on your forehead. Get that blood back in your head, because this is a good stress exercise, because this government is stressful. I'm giving you tools right now to do this. Oh, and if you're sitting across your ankles, because I want your energies to keep crossing over your body. Okay, because once our energies stop crossing over the hemispheres and the sides of our body, it's like we're paralyzed. Cross your feet, cross your legs. Something needs to be crossed. Keep breathing, hands on your heads. Okay. When it comes to civil rights, human rights, there's a new plan out there. It's a shared plan. I'm guessing because it's not here at home, it's overseas. I'm betting that someone else has an idea on how we're going to regard that. Lands far away. Guess who is in charge of dictating human rights, civil rights? Stubb. His real last name is 5 letters long, and he's short. Donald really likes him. Keep breathing. Hands on your forehead. In terms of civil rights and human rights, well, what's crowning us is the United States of America. That's who we are. And they're just going to let us keep that identity, because there's so much outrage out there about this that they can easily track reactions to this, especially online, and responses and accounts who's the most outraged. And then they can flag you. And if they can do a search of your email and phone number, and your state had hacked voter information, they can cross-reference you and then maybe perhaps be denied a ballot like I was in 2016. So vote by mail is much more safe. When it comes to civil rights and human rights, keep breathing, deep breath. 2 ways to look at this. The sun represents the FOTUS, F-O-T-U-S, because he is no P, he's an F. The FOTUS, total failure on this goal. And that is in his house of hopes and wishes and friendship. Deliberate. When it comes to secrets and hidden enemies, like I told you, your outrage is collected as data and added to the propaganda machine, harvested and spit out and used and weaponized against you. This is where we are with civil rights, human rights. Okay, keep breathing. Now, when we look at the divine feminine and how she is working with this eclipse and moving forward, when it comes to civil rights, she's all over this on the ascendant. This is where she's putting her energy now to, I don't know do what, but it is definitely a priority, especially since it's on the ascendant. There are only 3 areas that have come up this strong with the divine feminine working on the ascendant. This is one. The other one is the security of the United States of America. And the other one are our men, our guys. She's working on you. Powerful ways. When I read the men's Teroscope, I it made me really kind of sad for our guys because there's so much burden on them. And unlike we women, they're just dealing with it because they see us struggling so much. But the divine feminine is working through men and male energies as well. In terms of civil rights, she is specifically working on this, because once we puncture this and get rid of this, it's like this whole thing falls away. And what is this? The Knight of, where's the Knight? And the Knight of Pentacles, the mercenaries. So the divine feminine sees herself on the ascendant as a Knight of Pentacles. So she's working on the mercenaries and the things that are up for sale. And the Knight of Pentacles is in the 3rd house of communication. So it has to do with how we communicate and how civil rights is being weaponized through mercenaries. And if it's with communication, communication is data, and that's the secret. So implicitly, she's working on that as well. She's also working, has a focus here on the Two of Wands, the plan, because right now it's a shared thing. And what's crowning the divine feminine, her highest achievements is a new plan. So that's how the divine feminine is attacking civil rights. See, don't you feel a little better that help is on the way, that there's a focus somehow? Okay, so I just want to know, Universe Tarot, can you tell me how these things are being eclipsed? How is this being eclipsed now and into the full moon? Because that sets the tone for the new order, okay? Let's see, what do we have? I don't want to be distracted. Oh, look at this. So this is how, now this is not the divine feminine. She can have influence here, but I'm just asking the tarot, how are these areas being eclipsed? The gaslighting, the BS is getting turned on its head. And there's going to be real things that are going to start happening with this. So that's probably going to lose its potency. Civil rights. Trump crime syndicate says this is what's going about it, and it's going to be eclipsed by new values. Not new money, a whole new power is going to come. Civil rights in terms of income value, they've totally abdicated that, set something else up. The eclipse says we're done with this. This is coming to an end. Yes. The 3rd house, how we communicate, our neighborhoods. Right now, it's up to the mercenaries and how they weaponize against us. It's going to be eclipsed by the courts. The courts are there. If this is Bill Barr who's directing it, he's getting eclipsed. In terms of USA defenses, security, how we nurture her, there are 3 outer planets here, plus women, Venus here. The Trump administration decided it was dead. The tarot says it's getting eclipsed. Now remember, eclipse energy, we don't see right away. Takes a couple months, and that energy lasts from 6 months to a year and a half, maybe 2 years, but 6 months to a year and a half. Getting eclipsed by our young children. The pages I have is children. The kids and their values, they're stepping it up. Oh, and is this is Speaker Pelosi, is going to eclipse that. In terms of fifth house of the sun, which means the president who's deferring human rights, civil rights to stub, that's getting eclipsed by Knight of Pentacles. Oh my God. See, here we go. I think this is Mike Pence. If Mike Pence replaces him, I don't know if he's replacing him, but Mike Pence has a role in this. I want to say whistleblowers, but it's not whistleblowers. It's well, people with money, but there's certain groups that haven't come out yet. I have no idea who, but it's someone is taking care of this, and they're going to be moved to action. It's not a person, groups, movements. I don't know what that is, who that is. In terms of the sixth house of public servants, military, day-to-day work, enforcement, nothing. That's getting eclipsed by the Eight of Cups, a new plan, a new start. They're changing plans. We, the people, have been incredibly disappointed. We're going to be eclipsed by this. Oh, I guess we're still going to be disappointed. This is a match. Why is this a match? Russia and China's influence. This stuff starts movement. This will naturally take care of that, but we are nowhere near to the point where this can be flipped. There are other things that are contributing to the flow, and once that gets there, this will flip pretty quickly, but this feels like it's a way off. The eighth house, the plan on civil rights, human rights, was abdicated, referred out to a shared, responsibility plan, likely with Stubb at the helm. That's getting eclipsed because those secrets to Russia will be exposed. Lands far away. Stubb is in charge, of the dialogue that's going on, the narrative, and that's getting eclipsed. Ooh, Page of Cups, please. Is this Ivanka? Not really. Is this whistleblower? Many whistleblowers. Not just in government, politics, the parties. This is good news. This is coming out. 10th house, United States of America. How is she eclipsed with this? We get the data. We get the data and we get the proof on what they were doing. Donald, total failure with this. The intelligence agencies are going to be all over this. I think this has to do with data. If this Page of Cups is a whistleblower, that could be someone also like Christopher Wiley. He's already come forward. More people like him, maybe people within the Trump campaign. So the secret hidden enemy was the weaponization of data, and that is going to be eclipsed by putting a lid on it. No, they are retreating. Our intel agencies are retreating. Where's that force? That makes sense here. Because this is also our intelligence agencies. They're not retreating. They're like meditating. They're gathering more information. But see these butterflies? They're out there. The window is open. They're out there. They know what's going on. It's that they're building their case is going to gain more traction. Okay, so this one was on civil rights. The one beneath it is healthcare. I'll do that one next.